Um, as the last portion of this video, um, I wanted to of this tutorial and training for Google Merchant Center, and eventually it'll be Bing Shopping as well. So or Yahoo Shopping, anywhere that you can upload your text file or CSV file of your products for free. This is going to be a really great way to do that. But also remember, I told you that for the reason why I took off data validation from the spreadsheet was because uh, of the fact that I wanted to have my spreadsheets online so that I can update them real time online. And the difference between SharePoint, which would cost you for a small business of 10 people or less, it would cost you about $7 a month. Um, that just you can't beat that. And or the free version, which would be SkyDrive with a Windows Live account, is that with SharePoint, you're going to be able to do live edits. So this workbook can be opened as many times, as many employees that have a setup up to 10. And if any 10 people make an edit, it's going to edit the workbook real time. So that's what I wanted to show you. Um, the way SharePoint works is that everything's done in the browser. So when you hit edit browser, it's going to come up and give you the workbook in its edited state. Just going here in August, this is the information that we have for August as a sample example here. Remember, data validation, I took it out. If it was there, this wouldn't work. And so as of today, the end of August 2011, data validation is not permitted in any Excel web app. So that means SharePoint or SkyDrive. And so you just can't use it there. However, this is really cool. If I go ahead and open up a new browser, and this will show you how this works. Browser 1 would be a person, let's say me. Browser 2 would be a worker at, let's say, my Midtown store. Okay, and so I say, oh, I made a sale online, and I put in the dress, and there's only one left, and I've made a sale online, and I put that in there. So let's say that our worker, which is downtown or midtown, sees that, and she has a small in her hands as well. And let's say that she goes ahead and puts that she made a sale too. And she's doing it at store Midtown. Okay? And there's no discount given or anything like that, so we won't worry about that. Now, if we notice, we go over the exact same information within SharePoint is there as well. And if we go over to the master inventory sheet, we can see that the current inventory for this product is reflected back to be 5, and the reason why it's 5 is because we started off with, I think, 7. Is that what it said? We began the inventory with 7, and we had 5 purchases, and so that's the reason why it says 5. But actually, we need to get purchases out of there because that's not correct. And we can now see a little more accurate inventory, which is inventory is 0. We shouldn't have anything in purchases. That's why it wasn't making sense. So if we go back, now we can clearly see that the inventory for this item, the current inventory, is now 0. Okay, and that's how that works. So the live edits happen because we can go ahead and take a look at those particular things and make the edits as we need to. Now, you say, well, why do I want my workers to have access to my inventory, my sell sheets, all that stuff? The only thing I want them to have access to is the month in which they're inputting cells. Okay? The really cool thing is, and what we'll do is we'll just close out of here. You don't have to worry about saving anything because the saves are automatic. For those of you who are familiar with using Office OneNote, the saving is done automatically, so you just close the browser, whatever we've done, it's done. So what we'll do is we'll get out of the editing mode of this workbook, and what we'll be able to do now is I can use my Sharepoint workbook, my workspace, which is like having the real document on my computer. And the workspace, you're not going to find this. This workspace is not, you can't find this in some file location within your desktop. This is a SharePoint program, and this document, for all intents and purposes, are within this program. So when you click on it, what's going to happen is it's going to start the actual desktop version of Excel. And it's going to be a live edit of those documents. Now, just so you can compare, what you'll notice is that when we go back to our SharePoint site and we go into this document, the document is, you cannot create what are you doing, Benji? You cannot create edits at the same time from the desktop workspace version and the online version. You can't do that. You can do online as many times as you want, but you can't work in the desktop version and the online version at the same time. But what you can do is when you're working on the desktop version, because if someone tries to work on the desktop version, and you'll see that, if I do edit in browser, you're going to see that it says this workbook is locked for editing. So basically, for all intents and purposes, when I am not editing online, I'm locking down the workbook so no one else can work in it. Okay? But I can go back and look at it so I can go back and look at it, but I just can't do any actual edits to it. So as I go in August, and I have this all up here, this is my live desktop version. I can actually make changes here, and they'll take real effect. So let me get out the cell information and the Midtown store information. Okay, now here's the thing. The save button works here. Okay, when I hit save, you saw that right there. It said uploading to server. All right, I'll hit save again. Uploading to server. It's right there. And what that means is that it's doing the edit to actually come back here. Now, I can't see that because, like I said, there's nothing that can change here. But if I reload the workbook, now it will reload with the proper editing that had occurred from the desktop version. It even leaves the cell, the active cell, in the right place.